Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Now, when we left off, Rayhan was just wrapping up the morning portion of his hunt. As he makes his way out to his next location, this time in a tree stand, let's learn about the Garmin Instinct, another rugged unit designed to withstand even the toughest terrains.
This is big country, and so the ability to have GPS, and to always have GPS service out here is really kind of critical. I've been wearing the new Garmin Instinct. It was made for hunters. You can see it's got that orange on it. One of the features that I really love, it can actually pair with so many different devices. Garmin's always making ecosystems of products. So one, I actually paired the inReach to it, and so you can get messages right directly on your watch. You can hit SOS if you need to. But one of the things that I really like about this watch is the backtrack feature. We were driving to the spot where that tripod was, and it was able to just immediately hit, I'm gonna start a GPS track right there, and it will track you all the way in. When you wanna get out, what's really nice is you just hit a backtrack feature on that, and it will actually just guide you right back out. And if you start getting even a little bit off course, it lets you know, and it will get you right back on that right track. And so that way you can get back to the truck and get back home and to safety as soon as you need to.
This morning we saw a lot of deer. Wind was picking up. We're actually moved to a different ranch called the Eveline down here. And we got a nice creek bottom draw, and apparently pretty much everything moves through here, so we're just gonna kind of wait and see what comes through, but hopefully we can get our buck tonight. We already got movement down there.
Luckily that weather kind of moved through a little bit, but we still had some wind. So in that tripod with the wind, wasn't able to communicate with Rusty on that one as much, and so it was pretty critical that we weren't moving as much. You got to be careful, and when we set in, it was kind of crazy. Almost immediately we had deer coming in. I didn't even have time to put on my coat, and I think I counted about 12 deer just sitting within 30 yards of us. We had an axis come through. Then we also had just does moving through. A few small bucks. Wasn't what we were looking for, but that's patience. I guess it's a first shoot. The way that tripod's set up, there's a couple different shooting lanes, but it's pretty, there's timber and it's pretty brushy. And, out of the corner of my eye, I see this really nice buck coming through, and I just got a glimpse of him, and so immediately just kind of stopped moving. He was staying in a thicker drawl area, so just kind of slowly got back, settled in, and got a really good look at him, and, immediately knew that was kind of the deer I was looking for. Just immediately knew that was in that age class that we were looking for. That was a fantastic buck, and you wish you could just draw up immediately right then. You wish he had that shot, but he didn't want to give us an opportunity, and so he stayed pretty thick. I was thinking, where he was at, he was going to kind of cruise left a little bit and give me a nice shot at about 25. So I was kind of positioning for myself for that, but it was just a waiting game there. When he gave me a little bit more of a chance to look at him, you could tell he was an old deer. You could tell that this was kind of his turf and he'd been here for a while. He had that sagging belly. He looked like he was just a little bit older, maybe smaller than he should have been. Just a really nice mature deer. And when I got that, first saw his rack there, that's the deer I thought we were looking for, but when we got to see a really good look at him, it was solidified. That was the deer. There was no questions, and all we needed to do was have him give us a shot. Seeing that deer, I had a little bit of buck fever, and it's kind of this weird half crouching, half standing position as you're getting up. So you may see me shaking just a little bit on that one, and that's all right. Good deer deserves that.
Well, this buck is approaching the position for a great shot. However, like Rayhan mentioned earlier, sometimes the wind can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Communicating with Rusty, our cameraman, he's awesome, does a great job. One of the things in that tripod is tough is that I was on a swivel seat, so he was behind me. He was yelling at me, hold on, but with the wind and me focused on that buck, I could not hear him for the life of me.
I got him. I think that was a pretty good shot.
As soon as that arrow's gone, you know, the work's not done. You still got a lot more to do, but you know, I feel like I was shaking like a leaf. I was so happy. And one of the first things we did was we got out that inReach and we sent Wade a message saying, hey, buck down, you know, we got it. After the shot, you know, you always want to see a deer go down as quickly as it can, and when it ducks into that brush, it starts kind of creeping in your mind the what ifs.
Can you see your arrow? Yeah. Can you see the fletching? Yeah. Is it a different color at all? The arrow? Yeah. No, I think there's blood on the fletching. Yeah. Okay. Hey, let's give it 30 minutes. Yeah.
When it comes to bow hunting, it's important to give the deer an ample amount of time to let nature take its course, even if you're confident you took a perfect shot. Once you're positive enough time has passed, it's time to start tracking.
In the stand, we could see there was blood right by the arrow. There's a little bit on the tree, so, you know, we knew that we had made a good shot on it, but sometimes it doesn't, you know, immediately bleed as much as you want for a track, and so for that first little bit, we were seeing spots here, spots there. That's when your gut kind of starts flipping and you start running through everything again, and you know, did I do this right? Did I do that right? Was it the shot that I thought it was? And you know, at that point, all you can do is really start tracking it and start looking, and luckily we have, you know, some great people here, and almost immediately we came on just nice blood for it. 2 spots of it, so it looked like it was from both sides. I think probably within another 10-15 yards, somebody hollered out, and when they hollered out, I knew we had it. I was pretty worried there right after we got down out of the tree. There wasn't as much blood as I had hoped, and it kind of died off there a little bit, but we caught onto a nice batch, and here he is. I mean, yeah, what an awesome deer. My goodness. You know, he spent a lot of time in the season, or a lot of time in the stand this season, and just really wasn't able to connect, but then this thing came in and I just couldn't believe it. It was finally all coming together. And you know, I had that 0 on there and it was right at 12 yards, and I was like, couldn't believe that's where I thought it was going to be a further shot than that, and it's right on it, and here he is. Unbelievable.
You made a perfect shot right there, because he didn't go where, I mean, that's your tree right there.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, he was running dead the whole time. When we talked about your hunt, the biggest thing, you didn't care how big he was as long as you made a good shot.
Yeah.
Your boss told me that you had shot the string off of this bow, that you had shot every day for lunch. And that's phenomenal. That means you care about the animal.
You know, that's why this thing's so great. I mean, in my mind, it's that, you know exactly where you're shooting, you know, the exact yardage. You know, with wind, everything going on, you know, around here and kind of going through the trees, that just really helped.
That's just too cool. I couldn't be happier. Well,
Wade, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be happy either, so let me shake your hand again on that one.
Awesome.
Thank you. Hunt's wrapping up, and I've kind of just been looking back on it, and it's kind of all that, you know, all the practice, all the arrows you're playing. First season with that 0, you know, I couldn't have thought of a better way to end it. You know, this entire season I was thinking about that 0 and that buck I was hoping to take with it, and at the end of the day, everything came together. We got a really nice mature buck that had been on this property for at least 7 years. Using that 0, we were able to get that exact shot that we needed. It went 35 yards and dropped. I don't know what more you could ask for. You know, this is one of those hunts that everything comes together. You know, I'm sure my next hunt's gonna be pretty bad, but for the time being, I'm gonna enjoy the moment.
Hey, thank you for watching, and join us next week on a new episode of Americana Outdoors.